everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 1. Now, as you know, Star Wars The Clone Wars was a 2008 cartoon series, which I did cover the Clone Wars movie, as well as the 2003 micro series, so decided to personally do Star Wars The Clone Wars, which was a 2008 cartoon, which ran from October the 1st, 2008, and ended its run in May 2020, with an additional 7 seasons. So I wanted to kind of do each season and give my thoughts on them. So the point, I would say, mostly of the first season is meant to have various battles, stories, and kind of adventures with the Star Wars cast. And the point of the first season is meant to focus on Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka in helping to stop Count Dooku and the CIS from basically trying to win the war, as well as we do see how other characters are a bit more focused. We see how Anakin tries to be the kind of wise, cunning, but kind of like mental to Ahsoka. And there are times where the old Anakin is still there. And I think the point of Ahsoka is meant to be a little headstrong, but at the same time does realise her mistakes and does kind of question her actions. And I think with Obi-Wan, you can tell there are moments where he does joke around with Anakin, but knows when to take the situation seriously. And I would say, yeah, I actually do admit I like how the clones also have other names for themselves, like Waxer, Chip, also Snip, as well as introducing Rex, as well as bringing back Cody in. And I think giving the clones a bit more personality does work. And I like how the first episode has Yoda really ensuring some clones that they are different. And I think what's interesting is episode 16, The Hidden Enemy, is also meant to be a prequel, which kind of explains what happened before the events of the Clone Wars movie. And I think what's interesting is, I think some of the stories in the series do have a bit of an arc, or a bit of a moral message. I think when you've got Kid Fisto and his former Padawan, when they kind of go through Grievous's stronghold, you do see statues and all that of what he used to be. And I think the point with his former Padawan, Jared Nada, is maybe a message about not being too ambitious and not letting your emotions cloud your judgment. And I also think the point of when Jar Jar Binks poses as a Jedi, the message of the story is, don't underestimate someone who might not be always useful. And I think there's moments in the show where you can tell the characters do want to do the right things, but sometimes their actions aren't always going to be the best option. When you have one of Padme's old friends deciding to join the Separatists, only to realise to his shock and horror what the CIS is truly like. And I think when you also have Aayla Secura, as well as Rex, Anakin, and the others crash landing on a pacifist planet, you can tell they don't really want to fight, but there's those who want to defend their home. The message of the story is that even though a pacifist nature isn't always going to fix things, you have to kind of realise when to stand up for others. And I think giving some of the other Jedi's personalities do work. Like, you can tell when you had Aayla Secura with Ahsoka, you can tell she does see a lot of herself and Anakin in her, and I think you can tell she does try to reassure her not to let her emotions be too strong. And I also think as well, having Luminara sort of making sure Ahsoka doesn't kind of go too hard on Viceroy, you can tell she doesn't want to see her go too far. And I think as well what's interesting is when you also have had the Star Wars Lego 3 game, they also included certain episodes from the sort of levels. The same with Season 2. And I think it was always a shame that we never really got to see a Star Wars Lego 4 game. And I think what's actually interesting is, yeah, when you also have the final episode, they actually don't put Zero the Hutt under the rug. And they also do introduce Cad Bane, who would later appear in the book of Boba Fett, as well in the Bad Batch. And I also kind of think as well what the series also gets right is introducing other potential dangers and other threats from the Clone Wars, like the Blue Shadow virus, also some dangerous pirates, also giving you this kind of other adventures we wouldn't really see. And I know the point with Dark Horse Comics, as well as the 2003 Clone Wars series, you always had a certain story before Disney bought them and cleaned the slate with the 2008 Clone Wars TV series. I think the animation also gets right is that it's meant to have an action figure playset, and I think that was kind of the point of it. And I think to me is that the first season isn't that bad. It's got a good premise, you know what they're trying to bring, so I think it still deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.